Plenty of flicks stick the landing when it comes to twisting true-to-life tragedies into moments of triumph. But one controversial change to the Gran Turismo movie made when adapting its source material has critics racing to the web to share their grievances. Warning, this video contains spoilers for Gran Turismo.
If you miss a line in the game, you reset. You miss it on the track, you could die.
Sony's long-awaited Gran Turismo movie is finally arriving in theaters, and the critical reaction has been considerably mixed. SVG Zone's Sam Watanuki gave it a 9 out of 10, calling the film a thrilling journey that's as much about human connection as it is about horsepower. While the AV Club's Eric Francisco said it's too unconfident, too distracted, too rote, and simply too short on gas to earn a place on the winner's podium. Judging from the responses aggregated by Rotten Tomatoes, this is a movie that is likely to divide viewers. Ahead of its US premiere, one aspect of the film's plot is generating outrage from early audiences and critics alike. The film, which held its grand premiere at the end of July and opened in UK cinemas today, tells a dramatic true story of Jan Mardenborough, a professional race car driver who experienced a rise to fame that was seen, at the time, as unorthodox. At the age of 19, he joined Nissan and Sony's GT Academy, a program designed to turn adept Gran Turismo players into actual drivers on the pro racing circuit.
I'd never experienced driving a sports car on a track before GT Academy.
In 2015, Mardenborough was involved in a horrific accident at Germany's Nürburgring, during which his car left the track and smashed through a barricade, resulting in multiple injuries and the death of one spectator. This event is depicted in the new movie, but the screenwriters have altered the timeline of Mardenborough's career for dramatic effect. In the movie, the crash leaves him injured and struggling with self-doubt, unsure of how to continue on to his next race. He eventually pulls himself together and competes in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, leading to a satisfying Hollywood ending. The problem, as noted by some critics, is that the fatal accident seen in the movie happened a few years after the race shown at the end of the film. In Gran Turismo, the tragedy at the Nürburgring is reframed as something Jan Mardenborough had to overcome in order to really take his place in the big leagues. The movie's timeline change regarding the fatal crash has been seen as a gross move by some reviewers, who feel the filmmakers have cravenly exploited a real-life tragedy for pathos. Polygon's Ollie Welsh writes, "While the crash did happen pretty much as depicted, Jason Hall and Zach Balin's screenplay time-shifts it in order to stage it as a defining, motivating setback on Mardenborough's hero's journey to his Le Mans podium. The actual accident happened years later, arguably a tasteless reframing of a fatal event. This plot point has proven nigh impossible for some critics to get around." Charlotte O'Sullivan called Sony out in her review of the film for the London Evening Standard, writing, quote, "Suggesting the incident helped propel Jan to greatness is not only false, it's reprehensible." That said, not everyone agrees with the idea that the movie's use of the Nürburgring crash is in poor taste. In fact, one of the defenders of his place in the film is Jan Mardenborough himself, who told the Sunday Times that he felt it was important to include, no matter how dark of a chapter it was in his life. He explained, "It's my life, it's part of my story. So I feel it would have been a disservice for the audience for that not to be in there." Mardenborough explained that he felt it was necessary to show how much the crash impacted him, but also to portray it in a way that respects the loss of life and the true weight of the accident.
It's something which I wouldn't want anybody else to experience. It stays with you, someone has lost their life.
He also wanted the movie to show how he was able to come back from the brink and push forward from that dark place. Mardenborough reasoned that the inclusion of the accident and its aftermath allows the film to illustrate, quote, "how you can rebound and achieve something, achieve greatness off the back of that." Audiences will have to see for themselves whether or not the movie manages to pull that off. Gran Turismo opens in US theaters on August 25th.